individual, and some of his performances in the clutch time for the club, in particular premierships and grand finals for the duration, he's been nothing short of outstanding.
He's probably the most nicest modern champion the game I've ever seen. So,
I've only got one sad thing, the fact that he wasn't playing when I was playing, because I would have loved to have him in my team.
He's obviously got pride in his own performance on the day. He's got pride in his teammates, and he's got pride in his club.
The legend of the Carlton Football Club, Craig Bradley.
It is one of the most incredible stories in modern sport. The story of a running man who just keeps on running. The oldest man in the AFL, currently the game's most experienced player. There seems no end in sight. Craig Bradley had achieved what most sportsmen dream of before the age of 21. He had scored centuries for Australia at underage level, had toured England with future Test greats Ian Healy and Craig McDermott as vice-captain of the Australian under-19 side. He had played Sheffield Shield cricket. On the football front, he'd already played 98 games with South Australian powerhouse Port Adelaide and won 3 club Best and Fairest awards. He was a star for South Australia and would be an All-Australian player 3 times in his first 6 seasons.
Settles to Whittlesey, but he's well clear. The Victorians can't raise the gallop. Smith trying to get across there. A long kick by Whittlesey up towards the half-forward line. All Victoria back there. McCann almost. Motley across to Bradley. Heads for the big white woodwork, and he's got another one. Beautifully done. His 4th goal, Bradley.
In his first year, he would star in the SANFL Grand Final. This was Bradley 1981 style.
Corns goes through, almost leaves the football behind. Weston to Pate. Ebert Sockers up towards Evans. He can't half volley it or dream run the back of the pack. And Bradley bolts through to put on another goal for Port Adelaide, his first. And brilliantly done, the half-forward flanker for Port Adelaide.
If I was Paul Weston, I'd either go somewhere else or I'd be standing so close to Russell Ebert that I wouldn't give him a touch.
Stands next to him all week at work, Peter.
He's probably sick of him.
Kick in by Holst. The half-back flank. Players misread the flight of the ball. It goes towards the line. Kinnear in the action again, playing brilliantly. Left foot's one back towards the half-forward line. Poor Peisha in front. Kale off the fingers around the corner. Bradley, good mark. Gee, for a 17-year-old, he's playing with poise and balance. Experience that belies the years, and he's got a chance to boot his 2nd goal in the 1981 Grand Final. 35 metres out. A difficult angle as the breeze is coming in from his left. Blustery conditions. The drop punt underway. He's threaded it through the middle. Oh, what balance. What talent. His 2nd goal.
He had signed with Essendon, had been haunted by league talent scouts, and had successfully combined his football and cricket careers. In 1986, he would succumb to the offers from Victoria. He would become a Blue. In 1997, Craig Bradley, one of football's quiet men, sat on the couch for Sevens talking footy with Bruce McAvaney, Mike Sheehan and Lee Matthews.
1972, your father was coaching the Woodville under-19s team. At the time when you were the mascot, you must have been 8 years of age or nearly 9. You know the horrible thing about it, I was playing in that team and Craig used to beat me one-on-one and training during the week, and I was 19.
There he is, little mascot. You weren't the kid with the long blonde hair, McAvaney.
No, that wasn't me.
I know, we didn't put your photo up, Bruce.
No.
There was some funny heads in that.
One of them was mine.
Under 19s, was it?
Yeah.
Thirds?
Yeah.
Have a look at that bloke on the left.
Hey, don't
Pretty
say
good
that.
pose of bloke on the right.
He's
He's looking really good. Have a look at him.
They were good days, Craig, weren't they?
I think so.
No, great days.
And who's that?
Oh, that's me.
Fresh face?
Oh, there you go.
Is that you, Bruce?
Yeah, I am. I didn't know they were doing that. I have changed a bit, haven't I?
He looks like a robust halfback player.
Oh, look at the hair. Yeah, good.
I look like just how I played. I'm sweating, never you mind.
At the 1985 annual meeting, Carlton unveiled its new signings. Bradley and his mate Peter Motley from Adelaide. There would be the small matter of a $60,000 fee to the Port Adelaide Magpies, but in retrospect, it would be a bargain. While Bradley had hoped to play under David Parkin, it wasn't to be.
And the tragedy was I got the sack before I was unloaded, before I had the chance. I think the year after, not only to pick up sticks, but Braddles and Dorotich and Motley and a terrific group of players that were coming soon after. I was pretty disappointed about the whole show.
It would be a vintage year for the Blues.
Scooped up to play, and McClure again, he's doing a lot of things today. Nice little clearing handball out.
Fraser Murphy on the ground now, Greg.
I noticed that, yes, and also Williams now, and over to Bradley. Bradley has a little shot. Can he find anyone? It looks pretty good. It certainly is. What a great little goal, yes, and it's another goal now to Carlton.
Half forward, this looks dangerous. A hand pass to Bradley. He's killing him at the moment. He's playing brilliant football from the centre. Hand pass back there to Shine. Over it goes to Bradley. This could be a goal for sure. A long hand pass to Elvin. He's only got to straighten up. He'll put this through for sure. It's a goal. That time this allows Road to get it back, and there's Bradley again. Still playing a sensational game, and look at him go. Can this fella move from South Australia? And the Crow Eater lines them up and puts at the goal, and what a magnificent bit of play. Just about the goal of the day, I would say. A magnificent bit of play on the part of Bradley.
It's a hurried kick away there towards the half-back flank. There's Craig Bradley. He's got it. He sprints with the ball. A hand pass over the top as he gets it to Bernie Evans. Evans towards half-forward. Oh, well smothered there by Stephen Turner. He picks it up in the back pocket and hooks it back towards the half-back line. Up they go, and Bradley gets his second possession of the game. Off he goes, the little South Australian champ. Brings it to full forward. The lead has been made. A beautiful lead by Warren McKenzie. Peter Moore knocks it wide. Robertson was there for Carlton. Gets in the kick towards half-forward where Bradley, who was a very good player in the first half with the most possessions on the ground.
Langford to centre wing. Even duel out there. Great mark, Dorotich. Strong play, this fella, Pete. 5 marks to John Dorotich. Kernahan. Johnston. Left foot snapshot will be a goal. Will it? No. Marked right in the square by Bernie Evans. Probably would have been a goal, actually.
Bradley, Pete.
Bradley.
Not unlike Bernie Evans when they're running close out to 2.
And you have to fall over to miss it. And so a goal here will put Carlton in front again. Only 5 metres out from goal. Carlton lead by 2 points. Seven's big lead from the MCG. 8-3-51 to 7-7-49.
And it's Bradley going forward, tapping the ball on the ground once. He can run right to goal the way he's going. No one going to tackle him. He can go forever, except the gates will keep him in. It's Bradley now on the half-forward zone, kicking toward the full forward slot, and that's a goal.
Real hot stuff at the moment. McClure in front, Langford at the back. Oh, what a mark to Bradley!
Along the way, Bradley would find time to play State of Origin footy for the Crow Eaters yet again. This time he would be best of field. South Australia beat the Vics by 10 points. It would bring him his first Foss Williams medal and 4th All-Australian selection. Carlton would finish 3rd on the ladder, thanks to the blend of talented youngsters and experienced old hands in skipper Mark McClure, the veterans Bruce Dool and Rod Ashman.
His composure quickly, has a snapshot at goal, won't quite make the distance. Johnson! What a mark!
Oh, that was a great mark.
Great grab!
In Loveridge goes, kicked off the ground by Kent, who tried to correct his mistake. Blackwell, brilliant play. Over it goes to Bradley, and look at him go. He'll go right round past the 50-metre mark and let fly at the goals. That's a long shot, and what a goal! Well, that makes the difference, 16 points. That goal should revitalise, and they got any go about them. 14-13, 97, Carlton to Hawthorn, 16-17, 113.
At the back deep here a minute ago, but I'll play the man in front. Glascott. Carlton finishing a little bit fresher, I feel. Glascott taking plenty of time. Kernahan punched away. Buckley takes it, yes. Away from Schwab. Bradley again, here he goes. Can he make it another one? McClure in the square, got it! Oh, Carlton finishing all over Hawthorn.
He did eventually get it in some sort of direction. Picked up by Harms. The left foot kick goes into the centre of the ground. A chance for Blackwell. Blackwell got a hand pass in. There's a chance for Glaskett. Glaskett moves it out. Now Bradley. Bradley into the open goal. Another Carlton goal. They try to get it out. Silvani tries to pick it up too. It's socket off the ground. Meldrum's there for Carlton. Tries to barge his way through. Did very well too. Did that beautifully. And he finds Evans, who's by himself. He can go to Bradley, who's got an unfamiliar jumper on. You'll see it now. Bradley picks up. He goes in toward the half-forward zone. He's 55 metres out. He's 40 metres out. He's 35 metres out. He puts it on its way, and he has put it through.
Goes after it. Great play by Dean that time. Not only got him to the ground, but took the ball away from over to Sheldon. A pass to Glaskett. Glaskett is upended, but a bit of bad luck that time. A hand pass coming over to Bradley. A running shot at goal. And brilliant play on the part of Carlton for a goal.
Two number 7s, Johnston and Carroll. It comes out to Bradley with what I thought was a throw. The umpire didn't agree. In towards the 10-metre square. In fact, he's dubbed it. Oh, great goal. Carlton alight at Princes Park. The Blues looking good in the first quarter.
From the Collingwood scoring zone. Fisted clear. A chance for Evans. Uses Blackwell on to Bradley. One bounce, 2, 3, 4. 40 metres out. Set sail for goal. Try that one on for goal of the day. What a goal. 4 bounces.
Duel. Ball to ground. Newport onto the left. Now a handball. Very slow. Cut off by English. Precision through that half-back line. Sheldon. Madden. That's good stuff. Meldrum. Look at this. Goals open. Players have nowhere to be seen from Melbourne. And Bradley. No opposition.
Dunstall looks for and finds Platten. Good smother by the veteran.
Bradley would share the best and fairest in his first season with Wayne Johnston. The Blues would win through to the grand final. Just as Bradley had played in a premiership side in his first season in Adelaide, he would attempt the same in Melbourne. But the might of the Hawks would prove too much.
Well, 86 was interesting, obviously being the first year in the VFL. We were devastated when we lost the grand final because we really thought we had a great chance. And I mean, a few things didn't eventuate. But overall, I guess the year was great in terms of we got a real taste of it. You know, just the whole tempo of VFL footy, and I guess losing the grand final, we were just really intent on following it up in 87 and squaring the ledger.
The Blues of 87 were a mighty team. Under new skipper Steve Kernahan, they dominated the competition. They would win 18 of the 22 home and away games. Bradley was a prime mover, while Kernahan won the goal kicking and the best and fairest. Braddles finished 6th in the Brownlow medal, behind Tony Lockett and John Platten. Ironically, back in 1984, he'd finished runner-up to Platten in the McGarry medal. After accounting for Hawthorn in the second semi-final, the stage was set for another showdown between the two power sides of the year.
Cricket practice wickets are, and in this hard conditions, it is very slippery.
Half forward. This is for Carlton. Kernahan, a hurried kick, looking for Kenny Hunter. He's got it. A lovely hand pass from Hunter to Bradley. This is a goal coming up. Goal. Best sides in the VFL competition this year.
It's a great contest.
It is a great contest. The hit-outs, well, Justin Madden with his enormous height, but Greg Deers battling very, very well. There's Madden getting it out to Alvin. Now Bradley and young Pritchard. Bradley knocks it on. Great pace, Bradley. He straightens up. He fires. It comes back. And he goals.
I think it's very hard to stop goals like that. The sheer talent of Craig Bradley getting away from Pritchard. Young Pritchard's done well in this quarter, but taking full advantage of that ball coming out there, the skills and pace. On replay, a perfect shot of Craig Bradley. Not only does he win the ball well, he finishes it off to perfection, and that was a perfect shot of a great piece of play by Craig Bradley.
Wait for the kick in. Abbott straight up the middle. Kernahan's in front. waiting behind, almost the mark to Johnston. He does well, gets a hand pass across to Robertson. He's upended. Hand pass comes out then from Pritchard. Back comes Robertson. Robertson scrambles a kick to Bradley. Bradley feigns the hand pass, stabs Galwood, puts it through. It's a tribute to the running players of both sides. None of those players have cramped up this afternoon as the ball comes along the members' side wing. Kennedy opposed to Green. Green did it brilliantly. There's the siren. Robert Walls is elated. With him is Wes Lofts. And Carlton are premiers for 1987. An outstanding performance.
Yes, a magnificent performance by the Blues. They fully deserve the premiership.
When we got the medallions, it was just relief. It was fantastic, and I guess more relief than anything because of the previous year. And I mean, we'd worked so hard. Finals were good. We played well. We knew we could do it. And I think initially, when you win something like that, it's just pure relief. And then a couple of days later, it all sinks in, and you really enjoy it. It's always been a lot of pressure. From probably '86 was, it was a real hard, interesting year in terms of, I mean, you had to get out and prove yourself. You had to, there were doubters, and there was obviously that question in your mind. I'm playing in a different competition here. I better pull my finger out. And so '86, you knew you were, about the place, and '87 you could get about and, try and put a few wrongs right.
We had a good crew. There was, Braddles and Motts came over, who were best mates in Adelaide, and myself and Tony McGuinness came over and we played at Glenelg together, so we're all a good crew, and we played golf a bit during the week when we could, and Braddles and Motts never worked, of course. McGuinness and I had jobs when we got here, but these blokes couldn't work in an iron lung when they got here. But yeah, we were pretty close, and I'm sure that helped because it was the first real strong crew that came over from SA, and yeah, we spent a lot of time together.
This would be a hugely frustrating year for the Blues. While Bradley would be the leading kick-getter in the competition with 475 and win the best and fairest outright for the first time, the Blues would be sent packing from the finals race with successive losses to eventual grand finalists Melbourne and Hawthorn.
Ball at half forward, good play by the Blues. Murphy to Bradley. Bradley from 40 metres directly in front, kicks a goal for Carlton.
No inhibitions back then. I just used to get out and play. Game plan was very one-dimensional, just attack. Obviously, as years go on, you become a bit wiser. You learn the tricks of the trade. Players try to stop you, and instead of just having one way to counter it, you might have 3 or 4, different tactics. So I think, it's good to. Back then, there's some things I wish I could still do in terms of just being more attacking and kicking more goals, but. I think, the defensive side of my game certainly kicked in the second half of my career.
For the first time since he moved to Carlton, the Blues would not make the finals in 1989. The mid-season axing of Robert Walls and the return of Alex Jesaulenko was certainly destabilising. Bradley finished runner-up to Kernahan in the best and fairest, and the Blues settled in 8th spot.
Get back towards the centre. Cracker is there. Bradley!
Bradley is killing them. If he has a shadow, he's not wearing him very closely at all. Bradley does it well, certainly runs his full distance. Madden. David Rees-Jones putting through Carlton third. The Blues looking the goods at the moment. And here's Bradley. He's burning in the first quarter. This will be his 4th kick.
And eventually Buckley comes away with the ball, finds Bradley, who started brilliantly. Now he's away. One of those searching runs, Bradley. Now he elects to go back. Puts himself in a little bit of trouble as a result. The kick not a good one, but the mark is taken somehow by Rees-Jones.
For Troy's disposal today leaves a lot to be desired. Bradley shows them how it should be done. To Silvani at midfield.
Upward bounce for Melbourne. He played it pretty well. Lays it off to Bradley. Bradley, a searching run. Buckley gets it across to DeRui. He goes for a long kick. Effective too as he finds Bradley on the outer side wing.
Blackwell, Blues better make something of this. Chips it in short. Bradley takes the mark. Outside 50 metres. He'll kick from the 50-metre line and puts the ball into the front of the square. Sartori takes the mark. Dorotich under pressure. He's got to sweep it wide to Glasgow. Oh, twists nicely out of trouble. This could be the start. He goes to Bradley, who'll shoot from inside 50. Bradley lets fly with a drop punt and puts it through for the Blues.
Poor field kicking, which is not like them. Carlton have hung in there. Oh, Bradley playing well in this quarter. Hooks it back on the left foot. A beautiful snap by Bradley.
Brilliant goal.
And it's a goal. Lost it. The quick kick is by Fraser Brown. It's wide to Bradley. He's proving a good play today. Bradley, 2 bounces. A chip pass across is good play by Bradley.
A big pack of players on right centre wing. Look at the speed of Bradley to get clear of Tuck. Good tackle though, Michael Tuck.
Flyer, it's fisted away. Here's a chance for Bradley. An open goal, 40 metres out, and the little man charges in and puts it through.
Very congested forward line for Carlton. Mackenzie's kick is high, putting it well inside 50. Kernahan and Dennis. Bradley scouts, snaps a goal and puts it through.
Well, I complimented Chris Lewis on his reading the play early in the first quarter when he's...
Richard Dennis between centre and half forward. Looking up towards half forward, Bradley in front. Kernahan and Satori. Satori took it and gave it to Bradley. Shepherding by Herman. Runs his full distance and kicks towards Dennis. And well picked up with the one hand by Glenn Hawker. Hawker to Bradley. Thought about going over the top to the sprinting Madden, then thought it might be quicker to kick it himself. It was to half forward, but a fine mark taken by Kernahan. Glasgow. Bradley. Good mark.
The Blackwell. There was a free kick paid, but the advantage over Rid. Now from 50 metres out, Bradley with kick number 23 has put it through for a goal. Carlton by 12.
Speaking from a player's point of view, it set us back. You know, I don't know how, you know, a couple of years it set us back, and that's nothing against the coaches. I think it was the clubs. You know, obviously when a coach leaves you and you've got a system in place for a couple of years and all of a sudden he's gone within a week. Jezza came in and obviously he had his strategies to put forward, and you know, it was a no-win situation for everyone short term, because we all of a sudden had to get used to Jezza and he had to get used to us. So look, I don't think a situation like that is healthy. I think personally, you know, to wait till the end of the year and is a much better way.
Football and cricket were a partnership that could be enjoyed in the past. As the game moved into the 90s, Bradley's hopes of playing both at top level were slowly diminishing.
I enjoy them both, and sort of, you know, I'd love to play more cricket if I could, but it just depends on how well I go.
Well, I think it's excellent from the cricket point of view that it's shown probably the football hierarchy that these fellas have, they can do both, and obviously his football hasn't been affected by the way he played the other night, and there's a lot of good cricketers that can be prematurely lost to football, and I think he's done a bit of a service to the cricketers actually by just proving that he can make this level of cricket and also play very well at football.
I believe he's a better footballer. He doesn't drop as many marks and he kicks a few goals.
After flying back to Adelaide to play cricket, he'd found a new home with the powerful Melbourne Cricket Club. And in 1990, he was again called for Sheffield Shield honours, this time for Victoria.
Bradley made an auspicious start for Victoria last weekend against a Queensland attack led by Craig McDermott and hell-bent on a spot in the Shield final in Brisbane. Bradley made 46.
Well, I was upset that night. You know, my parents rang up and they were happy, but I was just on a downer because, you know, I'd done the hard work to get to 46 and I felt so good that I was really disappointed that I couldn't have, you know, just taken my time and just got a decent score. 40's not a good score.
I actually ventured out to the MCG and I think he came in about number 3 or 4, and Victoria were 2 for 20, and out came Craig, and I was sitting in the MCG stand all by myself basically. There was no one there like usual, but I sat there for 2 hours and watched Craig just set in, dig in. He made a tally of 2 runs, and I thought, well, this is enough for me. And I decided, well, he looks like he's pretty much set, and I went off home and and thought I'll come in a little bit later to see how he's done. And I turned on the radio at home, and Victoria were 2 for about 120, and I thought, geez, he must have made a few. So I drove in from Northbourne, which is about 12k away, and drove in, got back into the stand, and walked in, had a look at the scoreboard. Braddles was 4 runs.
So he doubled his score in the hour and a half.
Yeah, he's done pretty well. It probably sums up the bloke. He's a bit boring.
1990 was a season that would see him celebrate his 100th game for the Blues. But under Jezza, Carlton was again a middle-of-the-road team.
Goes into the middle, Bassett from 48 metres. The drop punt in towards full forward. Did Salmon get a touch? He did not. Reinitz, Bradley from outside 50. Craig Bradley lets fly in his 100th game, and he says, try that one on. Back come the Blues. Here's the bounce again. Carlton have it in their attacking zone. Langford. Bradley, clear inside 50. Craig Bradley shoots, and he goes.
Carlton, they've dominated this match and been very, very impressive. Here's a chance for Bradley. Turns around, steps a goal. Oh, what a great goal by Craig Bradley. On to Dennis. Gleeson, look at the backup support Carlton have got as Darui takes it from centre wing.
And kicks long. Satori's on his own. Bradley's running past from 50 metres. He shoots in towards goal and has bounced it through for yet another one. The Blues are hot. Inside the 50-metre scoring zone for Carlton, and Bradley will pump it over the top and goal. Hawthorn by 4 points. Madden wins it to Satori. Beautifully to Bradley from 52 metres. Is this the quick answering goal? Yes! In towards full forward. Dean and Satori. Satori can pick another one, or may go to Bradley. He does. Craig Bradley into the square where Alvin is lurking, and Tommy Alvin goes.
There would be another Foss Williams medal in 1991, but this time in a losing South Australian team. David Parkin had failed to spark the Blues on return. He knew the job would require patience and plenty of time. While Bradley again finishes runner-up for the best and fairest to ruck giant Justin Madden, the club would slump to 11th. They had never finished that low before.
And Madden takes the mark. One of his Carlton teammates was taken high there too. Might have got a free kick. Bradley's kick at goal. Won't quite make the distance. At the back, Minton Connell will go off the ground and gets another one. His second. Phillips was playing a pretty good game. Kernahan gets the ball to ground. Swasson, Gleeson. Gleeson off the ground. Wild kick. Oh, Bradley takes the hand pass. Dummies, shoots and goals.
Centre bounce so important. Here's Bradley. Sprinting away. Oh, beautiful kick. Look at the pass. And great lead by Hannah.
Going in towards the true centre-half forward position. The big men fly. Dennis down. Can he mop up? Quickly does so. Alvin breaking as he gets the ball away just as he got it away. Bradley going onto the right foot. Is this Carlton's fourth? It is.
Sexton peels off. Goes the outer flank towards Bradley. Took it well. Off to Kernahan. The Crow Eaters combine. Now it's Milhana. Bradley saying go. Craven's off for that 50 metres, and that looks like a goal.
Strongly kicks it back to half-back. Good mark to Verbeek, who's got the job on Watson. The handball quick. James, the left foot. Bradley, the target, finds him. He's a long kick, Bradley. Good kick there. Bradley with the drop punt. Gee, it's a good kick, isn't it? Left foot by Verbeek, back to the pocket. Satori sets himself. Outnumbered, Phillips on the ground. Bradley, normally very clever, centres it well.
Good kick.
A great kick, wasn't it, Ross?
Terrific kick.
It was fantastic to have him on board. You knew once Parko came on board that he was very intense on getting us up and going. I think he got rid of a lot of players. He told us right from the word go that we were probably going to have to take a few steps backwards to go forwards, and I think that's what happened. So Parko was always pretty upfront and honest with us, and certainly you knew he was on a mission.
When the Blues lured Brownlow medalist Greg Williams to Princes Park in 1992, the club was faced with a delicate situation. They now had two of the great centremen in the AFL. The arrival of the Diesel freed up Bradley to run on the ball. This would be a season of consolidation, a gradual climb back up the ladder, with percentage only costing the Blues a place in the finals.
Marcus Siri, now the one-on-one battle.
Exceptionally tall and a big advantage to both sides, having those tall wingmen.
Bradley with Platten in pursuit.
Very ordinary in the end.
Well, he didn't really need to. Well played, Bradley. Clever, left foot, across the face. Silvani can make amends, and he does. Got rid of Ayres cleverly and took a very good mark. To Bradley, who had 8 possessions in the first quarter. Left foot. Silvani. And also Kernahan, who looked for a free kick. Advantage paid, and Silvani kicks his third. Blues in front.
Fingers, but doing it from behind. Monkhorst lost it. Bradley chips into Brown. Here's danger for Collingwood. Brown sets sail for home, and there's another one of the Blues.
Nearly marked by Hills, but brilliantly done by Williams. Away to Bond. Further forward, Bradley will nearly get a goal here. Casually goes Craig Bradley, and he smacks it straight through the centre. A high kick by Brett Ratton near the centre. Awkward bounce. Still awkward, but well controlled by Bond. Hand pass into the path of Bradley. Goes to Welsh. Welsh from 50 metres. Rowan Welsh has kicked the goal of the day.
Leading there, Mick and gone out of the game at centre-half forward. Ball now with Rowan Welsh. Welsh has got a loose man in Bradley, unattended by Hart. Just a little bit undisciplined there from Hart. He's had a very good game, but lost concentration. So Craig Bradley, he's an excellent shot at goal from a standing position, and he's put that one straight through.
Ball in dispute, nobody can get it out cleanly. Quickly it comes out to Shoal. Breaking from the centre towards centre-half forward. Bradley in front. An easy chest mark. Quickly over to Kernahan in the pocket unattended. Gale just can't get there. Carlton, the first goal. And Rowan Welsh changes direction. That's good play. That's Dean running down. Can he kick a goal? No, he hand passes. Bradley on the left foot. What's he done?
Centre half forward, Spalding didn't get first touch. Flicks it out to Bradley. Here's a goal for the Blues. And they're back in front.
Oh, he gets a very bad bounce. He goes in to try and grab it again, but Luke O'Sullivan beats him to it. O'Sullivan looking for a hand pass. He's found Bradley. Back to Luke O'Sullivan. That's great play. Spalding. O'Sullivan again. Terrific play by Carlton. O'Sullivan into an open goal. Great team play by the Blues. Still Wheeler. Now Mitchell and Hogg. Hogg racing in after. Carlton have lifted. This is Ratton. He'll look back to Bradley. Oh, he's done. Put the head down and the free kick. Just over 3 minutes.
Good players, don't miss these, Peter.
Bradley, I'd back him from here. Craig Bradley stabs. And I think he might have snuck this one in. He has.
Now, centre circle on the bounce, and it favours Justin Madden again. He wins it easily. Down to Bradley, and there go the Blues. Up to the half-forward line, and Dorotich couldn't smother, but he got a handball to Peter Dean. Into an open goal, and it's another one to Carlton.
Classic handball from Christo. He handballed in mid-flight.
Kelly and Bradley. Well played, Bradley. He's off and running. He can straighten up. He kicks it in towards goal. A great goal, Bradley.
But Gleeson goes in, gives a handball over this time to Bradley. Bradley hooks it over his shoulder towards the high flyer, Kernahan.
Good mark. No, not paid. McPherson it was. Now a chance for Bradley. Handball into the path of Spalding. Away he goes to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan bombs away and bangs it straight through the centre.
Pike runs hard at the ball. Silvani comes out with it. Silvani from half forward. Can they get the quick reply? Bradley
25 metres out directly in front, should score a goal, and he has done.
Greg Williams, when he came to the club, was much anticipated. It was funny because I was playing centre at the time and Diesel was playing centre, and I mean he was always going to play centre for Carlton. There's no, there was no danger of that side. I wasn't sure where I was going to be playing, but he was brilliant. I mean, he just brought everyone into play. I think he had things. I think he must have been able to run the show in Sydney because he never used to stretch or do anything like that. But we soon got him doing all the stretching and everything at Carlton. But he was fantastic. He just brought players in, and obviously was instrumental in our '95 win. And just to play with a guy that's going to go down in history as one of the greatest players is fantastic.
1993 would be a memorable year. It was a season in which Essendon and Carlton would finish on top of the ladder. The Bombers slightly ahead on percentage, but in their wake, 10 teams who could claim to be worthy premiership aspirants. It was a season in which 13.5 wins would give you top spot, and the Blues were in the thick of it.
Bradley does very well indeed to get it to Sexton. Sexton hits the goal and kicks it. And again, Carlton bottle it up, hold them at half forward. Bradley sneaks away. Now they turn defence into attack, and Kernahan marks 45 out directly in front. Can't take the mark. Fisted clear towards Watson. Oh, he's going to have a free kick. Gleeson was on his hammer. Play on is the call. Gleeson may have the last laugh. He gets it to Bradley. Bradley shoots towards goal. Carlton are back in business. South Australia have been able to win at Football Park. The MCG in recent times has been a very different proposition. But they've done it this time. Scholl loses it. Still on centre wing. There it is. South Australia.
There would be another Foss Williams medal as South Australia defeated Victoria.
Great South Australian identity. It's been won by Craig Bradley. Getting a bit tight for room here. Now the presentation of the E.J. Whitten medal.
In this final year of the final six, the qualifying final between Carlton and Essendon was a cracker. The first finals match to be played under lights. Bradley picking up 25 possessions despite the tagging of David Calthorpe. The Blues by 2 points.
And he's kicked an amazing goal. Away he goes to Bradley. And does the shepherding. Bradley's got pace and dash. He goes over the middle, out towards Kernahan on the half volley. This could result in a goal to Angelo. Yes!
Madden, the veteran.
A week later, the Crows would face old mates. Bradley and Kernahan against footballing foes they'd known all their lives. This second semi-final at Waverley saw Bradley at his best.
Nothing Pittman could do that time. Comes inboard, it sits up for Jarman. He taps it, finessing, and it goes straight to Bradley. A bouncing ball. Williams has been pretty quiet. His left footer. Oh, Madden is 30 metres in the clear. Wren giving chase. Ooh. What a sprint. This is something to watch. Madden goes long for goal. He might have kicked it. Sensational.
The Adelaide players have got back to cover Kernahan. A very congested forward line here for Carlton.
Blues lead by 3 points. Bradley comes on a lead and takes the mark on his chest. Plays on. Opens up the goal. Kicks. Good-looking effort. Great goal.
Spalding, the only chance for Carlton. It flips to the back to Williams. Williams floats a hand pass. Hogg had to wait for it. His tap out is clever. Bradley gathers. Now they're a chance to run it into the breeze. Bradley all the way to the 50, all the way to the 30. Craig Bradley goes for goal and kicks a ripper.
Rashudo overran it. This is to Ulio. To Bradley. History repeats itself. He runs to 30. He may have kicked another one, his third. Doesn't seem we'll see him play in this final round for the Blues. And the Crows' fitness will be put to the test here. Bradley makes something out of nothing again.
Spalding to Christou. He can go like a stall gift runner. Ange Christou off the left boot. Kernahan the chance. Pushed out. Must be a free to Kernahan. Advantage. It goes to Heaver. Open goal coming up for Heaver. And now Bradley, who kicks number 5.
5 goals from Bradley. The Blues into the grand final. The grand final was game number 180 for Bradley in the number 21 Guernsey for the Blues. He again had 25-plus possessions, but continually harassed by Calthorpe, didn't produce the blinder he'd hoped for. For the first time since 1986, the winner of the second semi-final did not take out the flag. It had been a super year for Bradley. He had again won Carlton's best and fairest and was named All-Australian yet again.
The Essendon cheers coming now. They can sense that their team is going to be premiers for 1993. Bradley will kick a belated goal across his body. Well done, Craig Bradley.
Yeah, look, I don't think when you lose a grand final as such, or a similar game, I don't think you can really explain to people what you feel, because I think when you do tell them, a lot of times they'll probably laugh at you, or they can't understand it. But when you're actually playing and you're putting so much into it, and it means so much to you, I mean, those sorts of things just unacceptable. And that's why when you 87 coming back after the 86 grand final was just such a real pleasure. And same with us for 95 to come back in 95. And 93 they said that Carlton was perhaps starting to get too old, or that was their last chance. And we come back 2 years later and we're nearly undefeated. So I mean, it was a real pleasure. And I think it's losses like that that's when you just say, rightio, well now we're going to we are going to put this right. And but it does, it hurts a lot.
For the second season in a row, the Carlton of 1994 would finish in second position on the ladder. Again, Bradley would play a major part in the Blues' 15 victories.
Here's David Neate, who he's attacked from all angles. Good play, Greg Williams. He shuffles out to Bradley. Great play by Williams to Bradley. In towards Kernahan. Look at this. Oh, yes, he had his name written all over that football. And he'll kick from 10 metres for his second. Or is he in for a big day? And Sean White is hurt.
McKay and back to Hannah. Good combination.
Yes, in fact, Stein's coming up for the Demons.
Off hands to Bradley. Great Bradley.
Illustration by Dean.
Heaver, outside 50, low ball, Bradley, box seat, good mark. It's a good kick by Heaver. Punching it into the goal square. He's having a big match, Bradley. From the pocket. He's got it. Bradley's first.
Shane Taylor to David Grant. Well, Grant would have been better off running that over. Oh, that wasn't good play by Grant.
That's a free kick.
Could have been a free kick.
Really?
How is that? No. Heaver on the left foot. Around the corner, he's kicked a great goal. Simon Shaw. Robert Harvey. Too slow.
Dropping it.
Holding the ball. Williams to Bond. Bond gives it to Fraser Brown. Brown across to Mitchell. Mitchell to Kernahan. Kernahan races in the goal.
To Christou was a good one. Christou to fall forward. Kernahan there. Getting back Blakey. Bradley's had a good start. Handball. Heaver normally kicks these. This will go through. It's a goal.
He's kicking towards full forward. It goes through to the back. Surely if he gathers this, Bradley will kick a goal. He is a professional footballer.
So we get underway to start the second half. The Blues by 22 points. Clark wins but goes straight to Brown. Kick by Brown up towards the 50. A diving marks built by McLean. Off the ground goes Spalding. Kernahan in front. A clever palm out. Spalding kept on coming. Dishes the hand pass wide. Even wider for Bradley. He goes to banana kick Craig Bradley and kicks it.
Gleeson upended, centering kick though. Back goes to Ulio. Fletcher missed the mark. Kernahan's hand pass good. Bradley from 35 metres. Another one for the Blues.
Sav Rocker coming off the ground, and Collingwood really are just struggling up forward. Gavin Krasiska
Should be a goal. Bradley streaming into goal like a stall gift winner and pops it through.
chance. Carlton's kicked only 12 goals, and if they're to go on and improve and be a premiership threat, they've got to have more options up forward, like that one.
Bradley has kicked it. He races away. Brilliant football by Silvani. Bradley from behind Matera. Out towards the wing it goes. Craig Bradley with the run of it. The crowd rising as one. McKay back to Bradley. What a goal this would be. Banana kick by Bradley. Oh! Just touched, I think. A goal! What a goal by Bradley. Williams ran straight past it. You might get it back here, though. No, McKay's hand pass goes to Hogg. Matthew Hogg short to Bradley. 50 metres the crowd wants. Nearest to 28th possession. Perfect.
Bauer, awkward hand pass. Madden goes up. Gale trying to...
By a strange quirk of fate, the Blues' key engine room players, Bradley and Williams, would both play their 200th games on the same day in round 23 against Richmond. They would both dominate. Bradley would be named in the All-Australian team yet again, this time on the interchange bench with skipper Kernahan.
Swings it back into the middle. Bradley picking up a ton of touches. Goes high to the half-forward line. Big pack of players. Fraser Brown comes in from the side.
Falling to the ground, boots it towards half-forward, taken by Brown to Bradley. Goes down towards Kernahan once again. How will it bounce? Kernahan did brilliantly to smother it. Across to Gleeson, 25 metres out, another one.
Spilled to ground. Gale belts it clear, but straight to Hogg. Now Bradley's got a chance to run. Craig Bradley, the 200-gamer. Good shepherding, sees him clear. He's still going. He kicked a magnificent goal last week, and he's done it again.
It's no good watching finals when you're not playing. You feel responsible. You know, if the team's not doing that well and you know that you should be out there, you certainly, you know, you feel a little bit responsible. So 94 was hard to cop. We went out in straight sets, I think. So once again, Carlton are gone. You know, 93 they were sort of gone. 94 they're gone. 95 was a different story.
Few teams in AFL history have dominated a season quite like the Blues of 1995. The first team to win 20 home and away games in a season rode roughshod over the competition. At the forefront, Craig Bradley.
He is such a good player.
Right on the siren too, Robbo. Goes after the third bounce with a thumping punt kick, and Kernahan marks on his chest. Spalding's in the square on his own. Kernahan 10 marks. Unselfishly goes in short. Bradley, no, it's going to go back. Oh, well, I thought it was going back because the umpire called it back. But no, sirree, Bradley's kicked it back to Stephen Kernahan. Just looking for stats. Well, it looked to me as though I didn't look back, and I thought the umpire must have called it back from where Kernahan
where it's going again.
Back to Bradley, into Ratton, and Ratton kicks the goal.
Kudafidis, who does a lot of tough work, as I said before, in close. Hand pass comes out to Bradley through some very heavy traffic. Oh, brilliant goal! Brilliant goal from Bradley. For his leadership and to play well. Hannah up over the top. Recovers at ground level to Bradley. Triple best and fairest winner for the Blues. Here's the skipper, Kernahan. He kicked 10 last week. Is he on target first up today? Yes, he is. So Big Sticks kicks his first goal.
Burke has seen the game out pretty well. Still leapt up pretty high for that one. Big task today. Gleeson's hand pass into Bradley. A great game, Craig Bradley, and a perfect pass, and Peter Dean is going to kick another one.
Bradley waiting down, well played again, Martin. Free ball to Capulano. Bradley worried him out. Bradley's been tremendous. Kudafidis, bouncing ball. Skidder, it's rolling through. Another one. It's raining goals now for the Blues.
Brad Pearce from left centre wing. No mark taken. Ratton. Bradley steadies, 45 out, no trouble at all.
Harry Madden gets it to Ratton. Ratton to Dean. Dean, Camporelli. Camporelli centre wing onto the left. The Richmond defence holding up well. Prescott went without it. Here's the dangerous Williams. Under Bradley. An open
goal. Craig Bradley stabs and puts it through.
The bottom of the pack. Bond's there for Carlton. Kick off the ground by Simmons. Here's a chance. Hannah, all he needs is a clean pick-up. He does that. Point of the square. It's got Bradley loose. For most of the day has been Banfield. He's had 13. This is just inside 50. Has he popped it through? He has. Centre of the ground, chance for Spalding. Could be a turnover for Carlton. Bradley. Rice. He's got it. He's going to kick a goal.
In round 12, the Blues met Geelong in a game described as one of the best of the 90s. When the Brownlow votes were read out late in September, C. Bradley Carlton would get the 3.
Steve Monaghetti passes beautifully for Williams. I think Bradley's 3 votes are solid goal.
It is a sensational game, and the use of the ball here, that is perfect football. Greg Williams well aware of the Geelong player coming in there prepared to protect himself, but wasn't needed at the end.
Up to 16 possessions, but going for his 3rd goal makes an important difference. Oh, great kick.
Danger period here for Carlton. The tap comes to Williams, taken by Bradley. Bradley a hurry, kick to half-wide, Alessio and Kernahan. It hits the deck, well played Earl Spalding. On the Kernahan, he tries to beat 2 players, he can't do so. Great play Spalding, grabs it, bends it back, a terrific goal by number 11.
The Blues would account for Brisbane in their debut final, then North under lights in the preliminary, before taking on Geelong on grand final day.
Tim McGrath tries to take the ball in front of himself. This is Scholl for the Cats. He's tackled by Clappe. The ball hits the ground. In goes Pickering. Back to McGrath. Still the pressure applied. Bradley the first chance to score. Bradley shot for goal. It's the first goal of the grand final to the Blues.
Out of bounds on the full.
Geelong get the ball back towards the half-back area. Tanner has taken the mark. Gets the hand pass to Hinkley. Hinkley back to Tanner. Tanner goes down the wing. No one home for Geelong, and Bradley marks from behind Hocking. And you would think that Bradley has probably had the better of that duel. Gary Hocking with 13 possessions. Bradley with 16 plus a goal. Bradley gets a 50-metre penalty. Hocking rather, well, in the finish there wasn't much in it, but the blow that he may have attempted to throw a little earlier than that, the umpire may have seen. With Bradley with the 50 metres.
What a great move. He's been playing half-back flank as well. What great discipline from this great player.
Yes, I agree with you, Malcolm. I think that this player in the 21 Guernsey, well, that was the one that perhaps the umpire saw, but a couple of others were hit and misses. But Bradley, he has been a terrific player. Over 200 games, hasn't missed many in his entire career. And that kick is a goal.
For Craig Bradley, a fine performance, 23 possessions, a couple of goals and a 2nd AFL Premiership medallion. Once again, he would be named All-Australian, this time as first rover in the best side in the land.
95, I remember, we went out straight sets in 94. We played a trial game in 95. I don't know where it was, at Shepparton or somewhere like that. We got thumped. We got thumped by about 15 goals in a trial game. I remember we just all sat round the change rooms, and it was like, I'm looking at Kerners and Williams and these guys, and as if to say, well, geez, maybe we are shot, because we had a dip and we've been hammered. And lo and behold, we lost. That was in a trial game, and we lost like 2 games for the year. It's amazing.
This would be a disappointing year for Bradley and his Blues. The slump from invincibility to 5th spot, hard to stomach. Once again, Carlton fell from grace in September, losing both finals appearances and bowing out without a whimper.
Madden was Stoneham. Hadn't almost got a second dip at that. Shuffled out to Bradley, who's been busy. Snaps! And kicks the first goal of the match. he's got two players to give it to. Oh, bad kick. He's wide of the target. Might come off, though, because Welsh receives from Heaver. Welsh, further afield of Bradley. Dodging and weaving, that's clever. Onto the left foot, goes bang and puts it through the middle. Great play, Bradley.
Langford versus Kernahan. Heaver to Bradley. Time's running out for Carlton. It's a big chance in the squares. It bounced through. It's cleared the pack. Koutafidis receives from Ratton. Goes short to Hickmott. He's got him. Feeds it off to Bradley. He'll have a long shot from the pocket. Great kick, Craig Bradley.
Held up, slaps it out to Hannah. Round the body, Carlton struggling early. Murphy's got it to Bradley. Could go all the way. 60 metres out, times it beautifully. Great kick, drills it. Wonderful.
To keep playing in your 30s, look, I think it just depends. It depends. I think in this modern day footy, you've got to be adaptable. If you're a player that can play in a lot of positions, i.e. go forward, play on the wing, play on the ball, go back, you've got more chance of hanging around or playing longer and being, really useful for the side. But if you're one-dimensional, I think that's when you're in trouble as you get older. So I think the key is basically, being flexible and being able to play in a range of positions to cover.
Welcome back to the MCG. Let's go down to the AFL Master of Ceremonies. Craig Willis for the presentation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we begin the presentation. Joining me here on the dais is the AFL Games record holder, former Hawthorn champion, Michael Tuck, to present the Michael Tuck medallion to the player adjudged best on the ground by an independent panel in the 1997 Ansett Australia Cup. The winner of the Tuck medal for 1997 at the MCG tonight is Craig Bradley of Carlton.
Bradley would start 1997 in style, leading the Blues to the Ansett Australia Cup in front of more than 70,000 at the MCG. Geelong had no answer to his domination in the first half, and he would go on and win the Michael Tuck medal. More trophies for the cabinet. Carlton would languish in 1997, finishing the season in 11th position. Bradley would be runner-up yet again for the best and fairest, this time to Brett Ratton. His brilliance was again under note on Brownlow night, when he finished tied for 8th behind St Kilda's Robert Harvey. It would be the season that Stephen Kernahan's body finally called it quits. His long-standing vice-captain, an automatic choice to take over as captain.
250 games, and he runs through one of the biggest banners you have ever seen.
That is a monster, isn't it? That's almost touching both sides of the 50-metre arc, 25 metres into the forward line.
21 minutes gone, 3-3 to 2-2. Oh, what a mark of a football. Play on, no mark. Gee, the crowd don't like the umpire there. Craig Bradley! Congratulations, Braddles. 250 games, what a goal.
Bit of pressure relief for the Carlton side out wide. It's White, Adam White, wing position for Carlton, looking up forward, looking for options. One of those is Steve Kernahan. What a beautiful pass. Lace out, or lace in, just to let him know who kicked it. Now he's got White running on. Good work, son, but he's looking for Justin Murphy. Bradley to run the whole length of the field. Now a chance for Bradley, a banana goal. That's what a great goal.
Has not yet been called upon to work. Koutafidis, the little one over the top to Bradley. His kick goes long. This is a good one-on-one set up here. Kernahan claims it. Got it. Jurika does the jumping. Murphy first in at the ball. Bradley out in space again. Drags it across the body. The one-on-one contest. Hickmott.
Carlton have got the numbers. Hog the Bradley. That was cleverly played by Bradley. He wants to give it off. Now he says, I'll have a shot myself. And he goes bang. Oh, that was brilliant play for a goal. Straight down the centre of the ground. Kernahan, O'Sullivan, Bradley thought about giving it back to him. Williams next to him says go long, and he does, and he bounces it through for a goal.
interesting year, Luke. A couple of fantastic matches. Saw him play well against the Lions on the Queen's birthday. Long kick. Silvani couldn't get a crack at it. Grigic was there. Murphy. Williams. Beautiful handle. Kudafiti's a bit slow, but he's going to find Bradley. He was lucky. Bradley quickly on. Interesting. Silvani goes. The first one of the match.
Some matchups, individual matchups for your own information. Kemp and Williams, Banfield and Bradley, Evans and Ratton, Matera Camporelli, just fantastic matchups.
No doubt about that. O'Sullivan, Ratton, all well played Blues. Camporelli to O'Sullivan, the handball to Allen, give it to Murphy, making a meal of it, can't get it out. Now Murphy's got it. Did well. Kept his poise, kicks inside 50. Silvani and Worsfold, too good Silvani. He's a problem, isn't he, up there? Man on man, he's beating his opponents. Century kick is a beauty to Bradley. Wonderful play, Silvani. So Bradley should go. He's 30 metres out. He's very good on the run these days. Not quite so good from the stand, but that's perfect. Schofield runs away. A couple of bounces and just finds Banfield. It was perfectly weighted in the end. Stone's kick. Well done, Kudafidis. Could we see a huge second half from him? Half volley by Ratton. Handball was excellent to Bradley. Bradley goes short and finds his man. This is a good start, and Hamler has played a good game.
Kicks out wide to Sexton. He plays on around the other side boundary line to Williams. Lifting again to McKay. Can go back to Williams. Under pressure. Banfield thumps it away. Some tired players. Sexton following up. Goes to Williams. Williams gets the hand pass away. Camporelli spins out of trouble. Back to Ratton. Running down towards half forward. Silvani's the target. Urig over the top. Who's down in front? Guess who? Bradley sprints away. Inside the 50. Will this be a lifter? It's close. It's a goal.
13 players, one. Carlton will be very happy. Porter gets the tap down again, straight to Bradley. If he can do that for the rest of his career and play a lot of games as Bradley just puts it straight through for the Blues. What a magnificent kick. Ho-ho! 2 minutes. He's just motioning off to the trainer. Give me 2 minutes.
Well, he won't need to because it's less than 1 to half time.
Bradley from 50, trying to size up the goals. He usually puts these through. Kick looks good. It's great for the Carlton. Sensational. Hamill, Bradley, the ball to half forward for the Blues.
Whitnell marks. Into Craig Bradley. He's got a hectare. Can he kick it well into the breeze? It's a beautiful kick. Great goal by Bradley.
Probably the senior bloke got the job, which I think he should. I mean, Braddles just deserved to be captain of the club. I mean, he wouldn't have worried him in the slightest. Probably you might have to ask him that. He said it didn't worry if he didn't get it, give it to a younger guy and bring someone through like a McKay, a Ratton or someone like that. But I think everyone at the club thought he's done the job, and we had a lot of captains at the time. We had about 5 or 6 blokes who could captain the side anyway, so it was an easy job for him to walk straight into.
Well, the captaincy when Stephen left, I mean, I'd been vice captain with Stephen for God knows how many years. So it was almost like if Stephen left, then perhaps, you know, let's just bring in someone new. And I'll support them and teach them or help them or whatever. I mean, that made sense to me, and I'd suggested that to the match committee. And I keep suggesting that every year and leave it up to them because, you know, at the end of the day, it's their choice. So, but it's been good, and Stephen Silvani's fantastic. Hopefully, one day, Sos can captain for at least a year before he's finished. I'd love to see that. And we've got Ratton and McKay and these guys who are sensational. So captaincy's, it's great, it's no problems.
Bradley in the late 90s was a player to savour. The pace was still there, the skills impeccable, and the desire as fierce as ever.
Away to Bradley. Bradley skippering the Blues, goes for goal. And the first goal on the scoreboard, the Carlton kick by Craig Bradley.
Kudafidis to the centre of the ground. Well, that's a good mark running hard at the ball by Hume. Here's Bradley.
Yeah, this is their best build-up for a while, this one.
Now, they need Whitnell to mark and kick a goal. He can go over the top of the hand pass. Here's a goal coming up. Silvani. Oh, he's got it.
Good on you. Well done.
Oh, they needed it, but they're back in this game, the Blues. 3 goals to Steve Silvani.
Here's a lead by Allen. Wind has come on the ground to mark him. Allen, a good mark. Well, he started in the goal square, and now he's back in the centre square. Bradley. Yes, plenty of Carlton players here, and Porter takes the mark. McKay's become a forward as well. He offered a lead. Oh, Porter's gone for the distance and kicked it. That is some goal.
Oh, Regani, Seacamp.
Good work from Diolio.
The good part here about Melbourne, they've got numbers at the bottom. Oh, Jimmy Steins kicks at 3 metres. He is a funny player, Steins. Murphy caught. Look at the pressure put on by Melbourne. Ratton bends it back again, Melbourne with the numbers. Ingerson tried to come out with it. Bradley. Fraser Brown's got it. Inside the Bradley. Bradley a goal from 40 metres. Great play by Fraser Brown.
The top of the ball, back to Winmar. They're working hard in defence. Hamill coming through hard also was Wakeling. Going to the ground was Young. Beveridge is there. The Blues fighting hard. Hamill sets it up to Bradley. He can run into the open goal. Bangs it through.
Oh, I think that a little bit of luck there, but it came off because Brown gave it to Bradley as time runs out. He'll just get his kick at goal. Craig Bradley, look at that!
Very much.
Right on half time. Craig Bradley has kicked a ripper, and the Carlton crowd have gone berserk, as have the players.
As an AFL player approaches 300 games, he has traditionally wound down. The end is near for all but a very few. In 1999, Craig Bradley seemed to reinvent himself. He was once again one of the game's elite. If anything, age had improved him. He would lead the AFL in kicks for the second time, 430 in 26 games. In a statistical look at football over 2 decades, it was discovered that no player had bettered Bradley's tally of 5,015 kicks up to the end of the 1999 season. He would play that well. He would finish 6th in the Brownlow.
He does now, pushes to Ratton. Jason said reasonable night, not one of his absolute best though. To the pocket, Manton was a good stretch. Casually goes on to Bradley, got him.
Within 6 goals down, which isn't in today's football a great margin.
Bradley, 20 metres out, kicks the goal.
Explaining how he did it. That's his first. Port's second for the quarter. They again lead by 3 points, but look at this. The trademark of the Carlton Football Club. Bradley from 70 metres. Long, Silvani lets it go. Carlton have the quick reply.
Yeah, last time we tried that, though, we kicked one of the best goals of the weekend.
Cleared out of defence by Steve Phoebe. On the bounce, comes off Bradley. Bradley good enough to regain it. What a player, Craig Bradley. And the pass to centre-half forward is magnificent. Whitmore. McDonald. Good mark, Silvani.
Well, he really loves it down there in defence, Stephen Silvani. On to Manton. Further afield to his teammate there in Murphy. Now Bradley's gone down the forward line. Craig Bradley. Oh, what a great kick by Bradley. Define White. That was...
Well, Craig, congratulations. 300 senior games. It's quite a milestone. You join the likes of Bruce Dool and John Nichols here at Carlton and some big names in football. What does the milestone mean to you?
Oh, yeah, look, I'm rapt to be, to play 300 at Carlton, and for those guys to have played 300, there's 3 of us at the moment. That's, I'm pretty proud of that fact.
How about the milestone? I mean, the hype of the fact that it's your testimonial year. You're reaching 300 senior games. How do you cope with the hype and all the?
I'm trying to be low-key. I've never been one to hang my head on games played, as such. But I really appreciate the 300 is significant in many ways for Carlton. So I'm really proud of that fact. But I'm trying to be low-key, and at the end of the day, I have to try and play well on Sunday.
The crowning glory came in round 14 when he led his side on for his 300th game. The 3rd Blue and only the 35th man in league history to reach the mark. And that was after 98 games with Port Adelaide at the highest level. It was a typically Bradley game too. 26 touches against Hawthorn and enough spark to take home a Brownlow vote.
But they're falling down again across half forward. McKay.
Down the field.
Might be a free kick downfield. It will be. Whitnell opens it up for Bradley. Kick a goal on your 300th, son. He does.
Terrific to see. Silvani, a good mate of his. Andrew McKay. And that is a terrific gesture to a champion of the game. Times like this is what winning's all about. To share moments of glory with blokes you respect. And that's what footy's all about. A couple of weeks ago, Pete, we seen Damien Monkhurst getting carried off.
Yeah. I don't know who tried to carry him off. It would have been a pretty big
up to the two rocket boys. But in the end, to see Craig Bradley being carried from the ground and to hear that song bellowing in the background with the Carlton supporters standing on their feet, putting their hands together to clap and adore this man, it's a terrific gesture.
5 All-Australian, 2 premiership sides, 3 best and fairest and 4 times runner-up, and now 300 games, only the 3rd Carlton player to do it.
When his peers gathered at the Crown Casino on the Sunday night, 1,400 fans packed in to see the legend honoured. This was how long-time Blues fan Jim Wilson saw the evening.
John Nichols, the great Bruce Dool and Craig Bradley, all congregating on stage together.
To Carlton people, one and all. It's certainly a great thrill to be here tonight to salute Craig Bradley. There's been so much said about him that I've only got one sad thing, the fact that he wasn't playing when I was playing, because I would have loved to have him in my team.
Craig's been terrific, we all know that. There's new words come in the game today, like passionate, and so forth. I like to think of Craig as some of the old-time words, such as pride. He's obviously got pride in his own performance on the day. He's got pride in his teammates, and he's got pride in his club. He's also, another word is respect. I think he's earned the respect of his teammates and the opposition, and he's also earned the respect of all his supporters throughout Australia, which they're all here today. Thanks very much.
Well done, Bill. Good to see you. The great Bruce Dool.
The night wouldn't have been complete without coach David Parkin.
Craig, you've been a wonderful leader. That's not just when you took on the mantle as captain, but as Stix's assistant for a long time. That was a great combination. You've remained, most of all, a level-headed, really good guy in the game, which is not so easy when you've had the status or achieved the things that you had. Many of them lose their way along the way, but Braddles, you've remained that very even, balanced person and a wonderful attribute for the Carlton Footy Club. Thank you from everyone for your services now, not only for footy here, but for footy across 2 states in particular, South Australia and Victoria. I salute you on behalf of everybody here. Would like you to come forward and receive your match day Guernsey from that day, Sunday the 4th of July versus Hawthorn, when you achieved your 300 games for the Carlton Football Club. Craig Bradley.
And finally, it was time for the guest of honour to respond.
Another thing Wolsey would do, anything well, an example, it was a wet night, it's raining, it's cold in Melbourne, the balls are waterlogged, so what does Rob do to try and toughen us up? He'd with this one particular drill, he'd kick long torpedoes. We're all in a line, one at a time, so you couldn't hide. He'd kick long torpedoes, and he's a massive kick, and you had to run up and just smash the ball back to him as far as you could. And Guy, it was just cold. He didn't need it. He didn't want to do it. And guys, you'd hit it with your fist, and you'd just about break your hand. But Wolsey just kept making you doing it and doing it. And he was that sort of coach. But he won us, we lost in '86. And he won us a premiership in '87 because there was no way we were going to lose in '87 after being put through all the training that he did for us. So he was fantastic. Thanks, to all my teammates. I'd like to appreciate them because that's what footy's all about. Especially some of my closest mates who I've played with for most of the time. Sticks, thanks tonight for saying a few words. I thought you were a little bit harsh. I can't say enough about Sticks. He's just such a great mate to me and a partner now for work. And, you know, he's just such a champion. It's funny when I've been playing with him since I was under 15s, and, you know, to think he's one of the best players ever is just fantastic.
The legend of the Carlton Football Club, Craig Bradley.
With my 300th, I've never been one for, people kept saying, geez, you're going to play 300, it's coming up soon. But those numbers don't mean much to me in terms of, look, you can play 500. It's the quality of the 500 that I'm worried about. So I've been more worried about just playing well and being remembered for playing, you know, good footy, not X amount of games. So, but having said that, now that I've done the 300 and, you know, the kids came out and ran around and obviously it means a lot to me. And I know it's going to mean a lot to me when I finish playing. So I certainly am grateful for the 300 for sure.
In the 2000 season, Bradley would again be the oldest man in the competition. He would be the most experienced in the AFL. His side would again surge, finishing the season in second place behind the record-breaking Bombers of Kevin Sheedy. He would overtake John Nichols' mark of 328 games and continue to chase Bruce Doull's club record of 356, set in Bradley's debut year of 1986.
No problems for Braddles.
Carlton were to get up and win and be an all-time AFL record, come from behind at three-quarter time to win. Barnes. Fletcher. He's delivered it off well to Mansfield.
Oh,
Beaumont. Oh, Whitnell again. Wide for Bradley. Craig Bradley, the veteran. Open goal. He's got another one.
So Allen puts his body in front of Primus. Ratton, the playmaker, to Bradley. He's been magnificent in this first quarter. Can he finish it with a goal? He can.
What a milestone. That's rotten luck for Mark Beckley. Marsh. Ratton brilliantly done. Gets it away. Bradley spots the open goal. We talked about the quality players, and there's two of them right there. His second.
Well, I'd love to say for my high-flying marking ability, but I don't think they're going to say that somehow. Yeah, look, just, I guess, I don't know, just my running, I guess. More than anything, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know. They'll probably remember me as this old fellow who just kept playing.
Long after he retires, people will look back on the marvel we've known as Braddles and wonder at his achievements. His longevity, his durability, his supreme fitness, his leadership skills, his class, and the sheer magic of the man. Craig Bradley has epitomised everything that is good in football and been a delight to watch for more than 20 years.